Me and my best friend, we'll call him Sam, have been inseparable. We do everything together. He's always the first one there to offer a helping hand and is all around generally a great dude. One day at work, he got tied up with something and asked me to take his phone and grab his Uber Eats order. I happily obliged. He gave me the phone unlocked, and I went to the lobby to go grab his food. As I make my way to the elevator, his phone starts getting notifications from an app one don't recognize. I didn't even mean to open them, but the way I was holding the phone automatically opened the app. It was some kind of messenger app, and the texts were from a former colleague of ours. She was texting him about what a great time she had last weekend with him and can't wait to see him again. Then she sent some pretty spicy pics. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Sam has a girlfriend. They've been together and living together for over 10 years and have a child. He is the last person I would ever imagine to engage in this type of behavior. As I grab his food, I'm scrolling through past texts. I know this is a dick move, but I can't believe my friend, who is the best dad I've ever seen, would step out on his family. My heart sank as what I saw just got worse and worse. He's been paying this woman's mortgage, sending her expensive gift sets, real sugar daddy type stuff. When I finally got back to the office, I closed out the app, handed the food and phone back to my buddy, and acted like everything was business as usual. But now I don't know how I feel. I can't look at him the same way. Do I confront him or just act like I never saw anything? I'm so conflicted. Comment: your best friend is not a great dad. He left his son alone and went away with mistress. If I were you, I would tell him you know and inform him to tell his partner, or else you will. Give him a deadline and he doesn't, then inform his partner. She has the right to know. Yup, it's starting to eat you. Confront him about his affair and give him ultimatum to confess his cheating ass to his GF, or else you will. His GF and his child deserve some respect in the truth. Your ex-best friend will hate you forever for this, but it is what it is. Truth will set you free, as they say. Hope you'll make the best decision. P.S. You should have taken a pic for evidence. Next story, too. Girlfriend cheated after engagement ring shopping. Hey, all. So this story happened about a year ago at this point. For context, my girlfriend at the time and myself had been together for about 3 years. The question of marriage began popping up, especially with other friends of ours getting engaged/married and having children. It was just that point in our lives. She was the love of my life, my first love. I would have done anything for her. So when she started dropping hints, I decided to move forward and figure out what type of an engagement ring she would want. After work one day, we headed to the jewelry store and found the perfect ring. I was planning on coming back in a month or two to purchase it once I had saved up some money. It wasn't overly expensive, but would have nearly wiped out my savings. A few days later was the weekend. One of my friends, Dex, invited both of us over to watch a UFC fight on Saturday. For context, Dex is about 18 years older than me, but has been a family friend for a long time. I thought he was the coolest guy in the world when I was a kid. Definitely someone I looked up to. So now being an adult and being friends with him is a childhood dream. Anyway, normally I would have the weekend available to do whatever, but I had a side job, and my client needed me to film some property in a different city early in the morning on Sunday. I decided to head up Saturday night so that I didn't have to be on the road at 5 a.m. on Sunday. I told Dex I couldn't make it, but my girlfriend could go. They were friends, too. I trusted her and I trusted him. Couldn't imagine either of them ever doing something to hurt me. So she goes to his house to watch the fight. Around 11, I went to bed and texted her that I love her and I'll see her tomorrow. She replies in her usual bubbly manner and tells me she loves me too. Sunday morning rolls around and I text her good morning. She responds, but not in her usual bubbly way. I thought it was odd, but figured she was just hungover or something. I went to work and then called her to let her know I was done and that I'd be home in a couple hours. She didn't answer. I thought it was odd, but maybe she didn't hear her phone or she was in the bath or something. I stopped a few miles down the road to get gas and tried calling again. Still no answer. This wasn't usual behavior from her, as we talked all day, every day. We were best friends. I started getting a bad feeling in my gut. I knew something had happened and just hoped for the best. I finally made it home after the longest drive of my life. She wasn't home. I called her again, and once again, no answer. I called Dex, assuming she was still at his house. He told me she left after the fight last night and hasn't seen her since. About an hour later, she shows up at home with some groceries. She walks right past me and doesn't say a word. I try saying hi and asking her about why she hasn't responded to me all day. She continues putting groceries away. A few minutes go by and I am fuming. Then all I hear from the laundry room is, "I cheated you." I asked with who, already knowing the answer. She confirmed my suspicion and came out to the living room where I was. She got on her knees and started bawling her eyes out in my lap. This went on for a while and I had no words. Eventually I told her I needed to think and asked her to leave. Fast forward 6 months, we broke up. I thought I could move past it. She really seemed genuinely sorry, but I just couldn't trust her anymore. Lesson learned. Don't try to make it work with someone you don't trust. Comment: I would definitely drop Dex as a friend. You cannot trust him either. He knew that she was in a relationship with you. I would warn your friends as well that they can't trust Dex around their wives, girlfriends, mothers, or sisters. Thank you. I did drop him as a friend. Everyone in my circle knows what happened as well. I pretty much moved past it at this point. Still have plenty of emotion around the topic and thought this may be a good way to vent. So just to understand this completely, this Dex dude has been a family friend since you were about 8 years old. Sounds like he's a friend of your parents, and I sure hope your dad wasn't as trusting with his wife around him. You're a breath of fresh air, bro. You know your bound dries and his firm on them. You're a good man for not allowing this. She at least came out promptly. But you're right. When trust broke in there, no real future. So nice to not hear about begging and pleading. You're moving on. If this is how you address life, you're looking at a good one. Good luck on purchasing that engagement ring for the real love of your life. You're better a keep to navigate new relationships now. You're not blinded by the Disney Prince Charming happily ever after pipe dream. You know life is tough and those closest to you can fall and falter. But you also know you're strong enough to wither that storm. You just survived a major gut-wrenching ordeal that some say is akin to losing a close relative. Live good, live strong, never waver on your moral outlook. Next story 3. Did my girlfriend cheat on me? I and my ex have been together for a year, as of June. We had a very healthy relationship, in my opinion, on our anniversary. I gave her a promise ring since we already talked about staying together. No matter what her reaction was, not what I was expecting, saying it's too expensive and that she can't wear it. Fast forward 2 weeks later, she says she hasn't been feeling the same. Telling me we both need time apart to work on ourselves to come back together in the future when we're ready. During the breakup, we both said we loved each other. We exchanged hugs and kisses and said we will stay loyal throughout this break. Another 2 weeks after our break, I've had no contact with her, but I went to her workplace. She works at a gym that we both used to go to. I had no intentions of interacting with her. I was waiting for her to leave so I could work out. As she comes out, I see another guy holding her by the waist, walks her to her car, and they start hugging and kissing. He leaves and comes back 5 minutes later to her car door to kiss some more. After he left, I confronted her at her window. Overwhelmed with emotions, I asked why. How long? Were you cheating? Did our relationship not mean anything? She told me it's been a week since they started talking, meaning a week after we broke up is when she started to see him and that she didn't cheat. But I can't trust anything she says now. Strangers that don't know each other that well do not kiss and touch each other like that. I suspect she was cheating because she never posted me on her public story and social media. Her recent picture while we were still together had the comments blocked. I usually leave a cute comment or a heart on her photos, but this time she turned them off. There was an instance where she got a notification and quickly swiped to delete it. Was she cheating? Comment: she was cheating and then wanted to be with him more than you. The break was her fallback plan. She played you. Just see her and move on, brother. I would also like to add, don't give promise rings. If anything, she should want to be giving you a promise ring, Most modern women get turned off by a guy who seems to commit it. It's weird, but it's just crazy times now. Guaranteed if he stops talking to her. And when she tries to hit him up after gym, guy is done with her and he ignores her. She starts the apology gimmick. And I only ever loved used stuff. These types are all the same. Exactly. Can't be moving like we're in the 1950s anymore. All that Disney Channel romance no longer applies. These women are certainly cut from a different cloth now. If it were me, I would go no contact on everything and get at her friend. You got to be a dirtbag with women like this.